It's time to review field placements. Let's go ahead and get started. Most of you are going to have a specific placement. Some of you, however, we're making some other arrangements, and I'm dealing with each one of you on a case-by-case basis. So expect some emails from me because that's going to have your specific teacher and the teacher's contact information. So this is exciting. I want you to pay attention and soak all of this in. Unless otherwise directed, you have been assigned a field placement to conduct observations and field work for this course. These teachers were recommended by their principals, and they have been vetted by Dr. Williams. They are considered experts in the field, so we want to learn all we can from them. You are going into their classrooms, which are sacred spaces of learning. We don't ever want to take that for granted. We don't ever want to take for granted the opportunity that these teachers are giving us to learn in an environment, in an authentic environment, in a very meaningful way through these observations and field experiences. We offer a wide range of field experiences throughout our education courses. Therefore, this placement in this course, it may not be your first choice that you want to serve at, but there is value in the experience. And Dr. Williams, our Director of Clinical Experiences here at McNeese, does a really great job of making sure that you have a variety of experiences, grade ranges, as well as locations, socioeconomic situations. So this is the one for this semester, and then next semester you'll have something different. Learn all that you can from the school, the students, your host teacher. We want to reserve those placement requests for your 1-year residency. This is when you may want to be closer to your home, or you may want to be closer to perhaps you have children in school or something like that. And so you want to reserve any requests that you have for placement for that 1-year residency. That is when she will take requests and try to make placements there that are convenient for you and your life and where you live. But at this point, we simply want to go into these assigned field placements with very grateful attitudes and soak up all we can. All right, so let's talk about when you should report. This week, you're not going to report. You're going to get the ball rolling with the teacher, which I'll talk about in some slides to come. But we want to talk about the actual timing of it. You should report during our class period on the field experience day each week. For example, if our class is from 12:30 to 3:10 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you should report from 12:30 to 3:10 p.m. on Thursdays, which is our field experience day. Tuesdays are in-person learning days, or those are our lesson and lecture days. Thursdays are your observation and field experience days. You have some leeway with the timing to allot for travel time. So for example, you may have a class at McNeese that you need to come back for, or maybe you were at a class at McNeese. And so there is some wiggle room there, but we want to try to make this time as regular as possible because that's really a convenience for the teacher. And also, if you're meeting at the same time period every week, you are going to increase your likelihood of building relationships with the classes, the students that are in the classes during those time periods, which is going to be important for later in the semester. And we'll talk about that in a moment as well. You are allowed to report at other times with the advance agreement of the host teacher. Do not just show up in the host teacher's classes. Make arrangements in advance so that the host teacher has time to plan for you. And there are several reasons for that. Sometimes there are situations going on with the students that you don't know about. Sometimes something is going on that day. They might have testing, or maybe they've got a special assembly or something like that. And so it wouldn't be a convenient time. Um, Also, many times if this teacher has a sub, it's fine for you to continue to stay and observe, but make sure that you are really maximizing the time with the expert teacher. So that kind of gives you a little bit of leeway about when you should report. Now, I will tell you this. Many times students really enjoy being in the field so much that they finish their hours up and they've got a couple of weeks left in the semester, and so they just ask the placement teacher, hey, do you mind if I come, if I continue coming, or if I can I come, like, on Fridays or something like that, and the placement teacher will, of course, typically allow that, and they really appreciate the help in their classrooms as well. So that kind of just gives you an understanding. You have a specified time built into your schedule for field experiences. And for our class, that's Thursdays, 12:30 to 3:10. However, you are allowed to report at other times. All right, let's go over some procedures. The first thing is you need to send an introductory email to your host teacher. You're going to see Moodle. It has a sample script of the email that you should send to the host teacher. And it actually has the host teacher letter that I want you to attach. That's going to be in the resources section and at the very top of Moodle. And you just scroll down underneath observations, you're going to see field placement, and the materials will be there for you. I have already sent the assigned teachers. Now, if you have to pick your own, I will communicate with you one-on-one about that. But the assigned teachers, I've already sent them the host teacher letter, but you need to follow up with an introductory email and attach that letter to it as well. Each time you report to the school, you must sign in and out of the front office. You must wear your MSU ID and a visitor pass, or both. Some schools want you to wear both. And you need to present yourself professionally. One other thing that is not, I didn't type it into this slide, but it is on Moodle. I recommend that you print out that host teacher letter and carry it with you, especially the first day that you report to the school, because many times you might actually have to give that to an administrator so that they can walk you back and show you where the class is. So I recommend that you print that out for verification of who you are and what you're there for. So what do we mean by presenting ourselves professionally? This can be a really touchy subject for people for some reason. I think once you get in a school environment, you understand the importance of that, especially for secondary teachers, those of you who are going to be working with middle and high school students. We want to make sure that we have professional attire and appearance. This means that we need to have clean and pressed clothes with no rips, holes, or tears. Avoid jeans and stick to khakis, slacks, or some other such apparel. No leggings, tank tops, flip-flops, etc. All apparel should be free of design elements which distract from the learning environment. And remember, you are there to help the learning process, not to hinder it. So anything that perhaps could be a little bit distracting for some of those adolescent learners. I hate to pick on any specific things, but sometimes if our clothes are designed a certain way that maybe they're cut to where it exposes a little bit more skin or a little bit more of ourselves, that can be very distracting for adolescent learners. Also, if it has any designs on it, you don't want anything with words or nothing controversial, nothing like that. So we want to stay away from anything like that. I do also want to say, though, you don't have to go and buy a lot of stuff for this. I remember when I first started teaching, actually, I went to Goodwill and I found, a couple of pieces, like some mix and match pieces. And in your case, you're only going like once a week, maybe twice a week. So rotate that thing out. Um, Black pants, khaki pants, rotate out some button down shirts, or, some, and you're good. You're set to go. Wear some nice closed toe shoes. Make sure you're comfortable because you're going to be walking a lot. But, that's easy to do. I'll also give you another tip. They have the best blazers. I know it sounds crazy, but stick a blazer on pretty much anything and you look more professional. So make sure that your grooming is good. So your hair should be well groomed. You should be your face should be well groomed. Um, it's funny what distracts adolescents. So keep those things in mind. Professional speech is very important. Maintain respect to all stakeholders at all times. So this means students, administrators, of course, your host teacher, everyone. We typically do not have many situations where our teacher candidates are disrespected in the field. Occasionally, especially in the secondary environment, students may be disrespectful to you, but remember, and this kind of goes to the second bullet, these students have cameras. So there is a very high likelihood that you will be on camera. I can guarantee it. So you want to be very careful that whatever you're saying or however you're presenting yourself, if that ends up on a social media site, would it be appropriate? Are you in a position that is appropriate? Is your speech appropriate? Is the way that you're handling something appropriate? So keep that in mind. And then, of course, professional behavior. Do not use your cell phone at all. Like if you feel like you're going to be too distracted by using your cell phone, leave it in your car because it sends such a terrible signal to the host teacher and to the students that you are checked out. Even if you're just looking at the time on your phone, they don't know that's what you're doing. Leave it. Just leave it in the car so you aren't tempted. It really sends a terrible signal. No earbuds, no other distracting devices. You can bring your laptop because there are some days where you might be sitting in the back simply observing, especially at the beginning, kind of getting your bearings, and you might want to have that laptop to begin typing up notes, but do not use it to surf the web or to work on homework for another class. That is a big no-no. And then make sure that you use this opportunity to practice your professional demeanor. So as you begin interacting with the students more, practice how you're going to be, many of you are going to be very young as you go into these classrooms. So how are you going to make sure that you maintain that position of authority, approachable authority, but that you are an authority figure, that they see you as someone who is going to guide their learning. And so this is a wonderful way to practice that. If you have any questions about professionalism or any things that you think might be a gray area, feel free to email me. I can help you troubleshoot it and just think out multiple perspectives so that we can always be respectful in these spaces. And I always just tell my students, if something's in question, just don't do it. Don't say it. Don't wear it. Wear something else. Say something else. If anything is in your mind kind of questionable, always just err on the side of caution, especially in this situation where it could be a new learning environment for you. It might be a school that you've never visited before or a community that you're not as familiar with. So, like I say, err on the side of caution. Many times students want to know, can I still use the videos that you've provided in the course? Absolutely. If you are sick or you've been exposed, we want to make sure that we're following proper safety procedures. So this might require quarantining on your part. In that case, feel free to use the videos to maintain your hours. I don't want you to get behind and feel stressed out about that. They are curated, they're well selected, so you're welcome to do that. However, at this point, we want to start transitioning to real field experience so that you can gain that valuable insight that only the field can provide. You will have to teach one lesson to a single group of students. So I recommend that you start going every week to the same classes. This will help you learn about the students and their course material. So it is important that we feel safe while we're in the field. Please let me know, not necessarily just health situations, but if there's another reason why you don't feel like you're safe in your environment, let me know. That's something that I definitely want to know about, you want to reach out about. However, feeling like, oh, I don't want to get dressed today, I'm just going to do the videos, that's not going to be good. You're not going to have a good experience. You're not going to get a lot out of the whole learning if you do it, that way. You're going to shortchange yourself, is what I should be saying. So we want to maximize this experience. Get in the field. And we just want to recap what your expectations are. So you've got 15 hours of observation and field experiences, and if you've been keeping up at this point, you already should have almost right at half of those. So that gives you quite a lot of wiggle room. Don't panic. You've got plenty of time left in the semester to get those remaining hours and more. So you should be fine. You can use a combination of videos and in person. Please use more in person than videos. At the very least, half and half. Do some observation and some more interactive work, such as working with a small group, leading a bell ringer, etc. Of course, that is dependent on your host teacher, as the host teacher letter says. He or she may not feel as comfortable with you doing certain things as other things. So I recommend, again, this is an opportunity to collaborate and see what they will allow you to do. You do have to teach one lesson plan. Your host teacher is aware of that. You will work, and so these next two kind of go together. I want you to collaborate with your host teacher about what lesson would be best for you to teach. You can use his or her curriculum and get their feedback. You must include a literacy strategy, and you need to design the lesson yourself. You need to really understand it in and out. It will be a 45 to 60-minute lesson, and this should be the lesson that you wrote for your midterm. You're going to record yourself using Swivel. So about midterm, so week 7 or 8, we're going to be working on that lesson plan, really shoring that up. And then after that, you're going to be teaching that lesson in the field over the course of like the next 2 weeks. And that's how you're going to get that formal evaluation. Don't worry about that right now. More information will be coming about both of those major assessments, so don't worry about that. Just get in the field, get your bearings, and get started collaborating with the mentor teacher and learning those students and their norms. I will be visiting you occasionally during your field experiences, so don't be surprised if you see me. Remember, I'm expecting to see you on our field experiences day and time. And so I'm really going to be disturbed if I go a couple times and you're not there any of those times. I'll be checking in on that. But you simply carry on doing whatever you're doing. I might simply just pass by your classroom. I might pop in. I'm probably going to introduce myself to the host teacher, but you just carry on. You just do your normal thing. I'm just there to check in. Don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns about the process. I will kind of help you iron those out. And then lastly, have fun. Learn all that you can. These are wonderful learning experiences. You may not actually serve in some of these schools that you are placed in, but all of the experiences help you become a better teacher. So have a great time, soak it in, and let me know if you have any questions.